Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to First and 10. We've got some NFL free agency day one coverage going on right now. It's about 3 o'clock as I'm recording this, so day one hasn't wrapped up yet, but I wanted to give some updates as there have been a lot of impactful signings. So let's go ahead and get into it here. The big one, obviously, Sam Darnold joining the Seattle Seahawks. After Seattle traded away Geno to the Raiders, I did say that this would be a possibility as they kind of look to go back to the failed Jets quarterback connection here. But in all jokes aside, Sam Darnold had a great season for Minnesota. And the deal's going to come out to 3 years, $100.5 million with $55 million guaranteed. This ends up being 0.16 mil. Baker was making 33 and a third million, so this puts him right in line with Baker Mayfield's contract. I mean, Darnold threw for 4,300 yards, 35 touchdowns. At the end of the day, Minnesota went 14-3. Those last two games were really rough. However, he showed a lot of promise, and Seattle's kind of taken another developmental route here. They have said that they could take a quarterback in this upcoming class, but I think Darnold just kind of gives them a younger version of Geno, and McDaniel can kind of get another year to analyze this roster. Maybe they get in a better spot next year to take a QB. But in Seattle, Darnold will reunite with offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak, who was his passing game coordinator in San Francisco during the 2023 season. However, the Seahawks offense is undergoing a transformation with releasing Tyler Lockett, trading DK Metcalf to the Steelers. This leaves Darnold with a relatively inexperienced receiving core headlined by Jackson Smith and Jigba and really no one else. Additionally, the offensive line has been a slight point of concern. Darnold did show in his time with Minnesota that he does struggle when his offensive line is getting destroyed. Now, like most quarterbacks, fair. However, Darnold, if it gets bad for the O-line, Darnold really falls off. Speaking as a Vikings fan, that's my personal experience with him. Regardless, though, I think this kind of falls into the middle ground of where we're expecting Sam Darnold to get signed for. I think it's a good deal for Seattle at the end of the day. But moving on, though, we have got Josh Sweat signing with the Arizona Cardinals. So Arizona bolstered their pass rush, desperately needed bolstering, by giving Josh Sweat a 4-year, $76.4 million contract with $41 million guaranteed. I believe that makes him the 12th highest paid edge rusher, right over Jonathan Grenard from Minnesota. Sweat played a pivotal role in the Eagles Super Bowl run with 2.5 sacks against Kansas City. He's had 14.5 over the last 2 years, so he's not an elite level edge rusher. However, Arizona got him for a relatively fair price, all things considered, and right now they've got Zaven Collins and BJ Ojulari headlining their edge rushing group. It may be a slight overpay in my opinion, but Sweat's a dog. He's a really good player. I think he's going to fit well in Jonathan Gannon's scheme, who was obviously the Eagles' defensive coordinator before he took the head coaching job in Arizona. So I would expect a seamless transition. His addition, of course, addresses a critical need for the Cardinals, as we've been talking about here. Another big signing of the day, though, we have Trevon Moehrig going to the Carolina Panthers. Carolina's trying to bolster their secondary, and they do it with Moehrig signing a 3-year, $51 million contract. Moehrig really developed into a formidable run-defending safety with solid coverage skills, inconsistent but solid. His signing comes along with the extension of cornerback J.C. Horn, so at least the Panthers are starting to develop some foundational pieces in their secondary, especially after their safeties were hit real hard by injuries in the safety department. I know they were starting Xavier Woods and an undrafted free agent. Forgive me, I can't remember his name. I want to say it's something Robinson there, but I don't remember off the top of my head. Nevertheless, though, Trevon Moehrig should fit quite well into Carolina. Now, another big signing we've got today, Davante Adams going to the Rams. Actually, I believe this was reported, wasn't this reported yesterday? I feel like I heard something about it yesterday, but maybe that was just talk. But anyway, they end up bringing in Adams on a 2-year, $46 million deal with the Rams. Adams, of course, had a rougher season this past year, getting traded to the Jets, and there was just general kind of weird stuff. Everything associated with the Jets was rough this year. But at the end of the day, he still ended up with 85 catches for 1,063 yards, 8 touchdowns. He is going to provide a little bit of a different skill set than what Cooper Kupp did. He's got more of a back shoulder perimeter play ability than Kupp. There was a little bit of redundancy between Kupp and Nakua, so it does make sense why they were going to move on and find kind of a guy with a different skill set here. However, it's still another aging receiver. I find that kind of funny. Regardless, though, Davante Adams is a really good player, and I think he's going to fit in well with Stafford. Just get him another veteran quarterback. As long as they get all of training camp to kind of work together, get those differences, just those little nuances oozed out. That's an interesting... I'm going to say get those nuances tightened up. I think that's a better word. He should provide great value for the Rams, and I don't see any reason why Adams can't have a nice little late career path here with the Rams, getting similar production to what I think he had this year, just maybe a little bit more efficient. There was another big signing here today from the Detroit Lions, bringing in corner DJ Reed over from the Jets. 3 years, $48 million. That puts DJ Reed as the 14th highest paid corner in the league. There was kind of a gap there between Lennar and... I forget who the other guy was. Let me... Okay, so I found out here. It was between Lennar and Charvarius Ward, funny enough, who is now free agent, making $13.5 million. But there was an interesting gap there. I just noticed Lennar was making $18 and Ward $13.5. So DJ Reed slots in at $16 million there, right, kind of in the middle, 14th highest paid corner. I think he's going to pair really nice with Terrion Arnold and Brian Branch. Just Detroit is bolstering their roster even more, making themselves... an even bigger Super Bowl threat next season. Really like the signing here for Detroit. I was kind of hoping Minnesota would bring in DJ Reed, but nevertheless, he goes to a great team and is going to fit in really nicely there with what Detroit has. A couple more big signings across the league. We've got Carlton Davis going to the New England Patriots. 3 years, $60 million, $34.5 million guaranteed. As long as Christian Gonzalez can stay healthy, they're going to make a great duo. New England has a bunch of cap space, so I don't imagine that they're going to be done whatsoever. I know every New England fan wants a wide receiver right now, so that should be coming soon. I wonder if Amari Cooper ends up going to New England. Interesting. I haven't heard anything about that, but you never know. And another big thing, Justin Fields moving to the Jets. So, hey, at the end of the day, that gives him a guy with a little upside. The Jets roster isn't completely depleted, but, you know, I don't mind that signing either. Just a bridge guy gets you through. The Jets aren't really linked to any quarterbacks this offseason. I don't see Shedeur Sanders going to the Jets. So I think Fields gives them a nice guy with a little upside, a little flash. At least the Jets might be a fun team next year. Okay, funny enough, I was just sitting here refreshing the page, see if anything was new, and Cameron Bynum goes to the Indianapolis Colts, safety from Minnesota, 4 years, $60 million. Bynum is a great player. He was really solid in Flores' scheme. He's real versatile. He's got great ball skills and very capable in run defense. He's just a playmaker. He's not the most impressive athlete, but Indianapolis fans are going to love this guy. He is a culture man through and through. He's one of the best interviewers I've seen, and I know Pat McAfee talks a lot about the Colts needing to get culture guys, locker room guys in that building. Bynum is a great piece to start that.